Mike Winger and Alisa Childers are two of the most outspoken evangelical critics of progressive Christianity. The central thesis of Childers' book is that progressive Christianity is another religion and another gospel. Here's what she writes on page 76 of her book. As I've learned, progressive Christianity is not simply a shift in the Christian view of social issues. It's not simply permission to embrace messiness and authenticity in Christian life. It's not simply a response to doubt, legalism, abuse, or hypocrisy. It's an entirely different religion with another Jesus and another gospel. Now, the interesting thing is, so again, her thesis, her central thesis, again, captured in the title of her book, is that progressive Christianity is another religion entirely. It's not Christianity at all. And it turns out that this is apparently not Mike Winger's view. He appears to reject that view. So I'm going to play about 30 seconds from this clip Winger did with a recent interview with Stand to Reason podcast. Listen closely, and then I'll debrief it afterward.
And progressive Christianity is, and some will not like this analogy. I think that progressive Christianity is not entirely in every case, but largely it's a way, it's like a doorway out of Christianity. You know, churches become progressive and then they tend to die. Christians become, at least proclaim Christians, you know, if whether you want to argue about their actual salvific status or not, right? They become progressive, and then over time they usually leave the faith and end up denying central core values of Christianity. And so this is pretty.
Okay, so let's debrief this. First of all, I just want to get out of the way the fact that Winger makes a claim that progressive Christianity usually is a doorway out of the faith. He provides no evidence for that claim. I mean, his evidence is his subjective impression that it's so. Maybe he has a smattering of anecdotal examples that he thinks sustain that impression. That's not evidence. If you want to actually make claim that progressive Christianity is a doorway out of Christianity, then you really should back that up with evidence. But that's a sidebar. The main thing I want to focus on here is how he fundamentally contradicts Alisa Childers' thesis. Her thesis, once again, is that progressive Christianity is an entirely different religion with another Jesus and another gospel. Those are her words. That's not at all what Mike Winger says. He says progressive Christianity is usually a doorway out of Christianity, which two things. First of all, that entails that sometimes it is not at all a doorway out of Christianity. Sometimes people who are progressive remain Christian all the time. They continue to be Christians in perpetuity while being progressive. That's a fundamental contradiction of the core thesis of Alisa Childers' book. Second thing here is that Winger says, but many of them, as he claims, gradually move out of Christianity. They end up rejecting core essential Christian claims. Still, that is also a fundamental contradiction of Alisa Childers' book, because on that second expression, what he's saying is often progressive Christianity can lead to people giving up Christianity, but leading to them giving up Christianity is not the same thing as being a fundamentally different religion all the time. Alisa Childers claims Christianity is equivalent to Hinduism or Islam, that to convert to it is to have left Christianity behind altogether in virtue of the conversion and having now become an adherent to another religion. And that is clearly fundamentally a claim that Mike Winger rejects. He does not accept the another gospel thesis of Alisa Childers. It's interesting because I know that Mike Winger and Alisa Childers have had several conversations and interactions together. So I wonder if she is aware that he fundamentally rejects the core thesis of her book.